talk, let's talk about winning. So again, the quote that I shared just now was, "You can't conquer what you're only half committed to." You cannot conquer what you're only half committed to. And what I was listening to today, Andy said something that really hit me. And anything that we do in our life, if we don't give it our all, we're never going to feel fulfilled. Anything that we do in life, if we don't give it our all, we're never going to feel fulfilled. So maybe you're in doing whatever you're doing right now, but you're not feeling fulfilled. I want you to really evaluate, how can I go all in with this? When we look at sports teams, even, he used this as a great example. Like if there's a sports team that wins the Super Bowl or wins, the championship or the finals, whether it's basketball, football, hockey, if there's a player on the team that didn't go all in that season, but the team won the trophy, the player that didn't go all in, they're not gonna feel like they deserve the trophy. They're not gonna feel like the trophy is theirs because they didn't go all in to feel like they deserve it. But when you go all in on something and you reach a new promotion or a new rank, you're gonna feel so fulfilled because you went all in and you did the work to make it happen. So many times we want the breakthrough, we want the momentum, we want the success, but we're only standing halfway in. We're, coming on Zoom calls, but we're not sitting down taking notes with our camera on. We have it on in the background and we're on Instagram, we're on social media, we're not all there, or we go to convention and we're not getting, and I'm not trying to call anyone out, but we're going to convention and not getting the translator. We're not all there. We're not all in, really there, you know? And sometimes we're standing halfway in waiting for proof before we give our full energy. But the truth is, your results will always match your level of commitment. Your results will always match your level of commitment. And I think with her society, I decided to go all in. I was talking to Christy before convention. I was like, we have to go all in with this. We have to do our own branding. We have to do our own marketing. We have to do our own trainings. I want my business to look different. Because I was seeing it kind of go backwards. I was like, no, no, no. I did not leave everything behind for this to not keep going forward. I was like, we have to go all in. And I decided to go all in. I upped the pressure on, I'm not just going to do a training on Monday. We need to be doing stuff weekly. Stormy really inspired us too. And I see the difference already that it's only been 3 weeks or a month. It hasn't even been a full month since her society fully launched. And I already see such a big shift in our businesses because of the the level of commitment that I've decided to put in is now matching the results. So your results will always tell on you. Your results will always tell if has she been doing reach outs, has she been doing follow-ups, has she been committed to her business. And when you go all in with your faith, with your business, with your purpose, everything begins to shift. Because when you go all in, God is going to go all out. Doors are going to start to open that you didn't even know existed. Connections are going to start to form that you never thought would have come back into your life and start to be something in your life. And things will start to move in your favor. So, as we go into today's training, I just want you to ask yourself, have I really gone all in on the vision that God has placed in me? Because the moment that you decide that you're all in, that's the moment that everything starts to align. So let's really, really quickly talk about what it really means to go all in. And Andy Frisella says it best. Most people don't fail because they don't have what it takes. They fail because they never fully commit. Most people have what it takes, but they're just not fully committing to the vision that they've been given. They have one foot in and one foot out. They treat their goals when it's convenient hobby instead of a non-negotiable mission. Hosting calls every week, it's not convenient, but it's a non-negotiable. If I can't make it happen, I'm gonna figure out how to make it happen. It's not a, okay, can't do it today. It's a non-negotiable. It has to happen. So people that never fully commit, they have one foot in and one foot out, and they treat their goals like a when it's convenient hobby instead of a non-negotiable mission. But the truth is, you can't conquer what you're only half committed to. Going all in doesn't mean you have all the answers or that it's easy or, you know, it's just gonna come to you with no issues or no problems or no hardship. It means that you've made a decision that no matter what happens, no matter how long it takes, how many times it gets quiet, because it's gonna get quiet, or how many people quit, because people are gonna quit, you're not gonna back down. So let me just give you four little pointers here, four little things to think about going all in. Number one, all in is a decision, it's not a feeling. You might get off of this call feeling like going all in, but have you made the decision to go all in? The difference between people who win and people who wish is that winners decide to win. They don't wait until they feel motivated because motivation is temporary. We know this. Motivation is temporary. There's already, you go to we just had convention season happen, and it's only October 20th. Convention was like only a month ago. And I already see people losing their energy from how they were posting post convention to 3 weeks after convention. It's gonna be a feeling. But there are also winners that made a decision, and I see it. There are winners that made a decision during convention and they're still going hard today. So it's never motivation that moves the needle. Well, we all need motivation. I'm giving you motivation right now. It's important, but motivation is temporary. Discipline and commitment are going to be what move the needle. So if you've been showing up halfway, or if your effort depends on your mood, this is your reminder that you can't build a full-time dream with part-time effort. And we're girls. We're not always gonna be in the mood. I got my period yesterday. My body hurts because I decided to take a reformer Pilates class. I have muscles that I didn't know I had. In so much pain right now. I wanted to just lay in my bed. I always just want to lay in my bed. I know we're all there. I just want to lay in my bed. I want to watch my show, but I have that scheduled from 10 p.m. until I fall asleep. So I can wait till 10 p.m. to do my doom scrolling, to do my Netflix show, but I'm committed to the decision that I've made here to build my dream, to build my empire, and to help other people rise up into who God has called them to be. So remember, you can't build a full-time dream with part-time effort. And I know all of you have a dream. You wouldn't be on this call on a Monday at 4 p.m. You all have a dream. You all have a vision of what pharmacy can do for you. So going all in, it means you've burned the boats. There's no plan B. If this doesn't work, then I'll do X, Y, and Z. No, this is your A, B, C, D, all the way to Z. There's no other back door, and you show up every day like it's already done. All in is a decision, not a feeling. Number two, all in means doing it even when it's hard. Even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. Most successful people don't skip the hard days. They master the hard days. Because success isn't built on your best day, it's built on what you do when you don't feel like doing it. Everyone shows up when they feel like doing it. The separator is the people that show up when it's hard, the people that show up when they don't feel like doing it. Because everyone can work when it's fun, everyone can post when sales are coming in. But the ones who truly go all in, they're consistent when nobody's watching, when nobody's ordering, when no one has signed up with them. I had 2 months in my business not too long ago where I didn't enroll anyone when I didn't have any customers, but I was posting, I was hosting the calls and no one would have been able to tell like, oh dang, she's not really having a good month. But I've listened to enough of this to know the ones that continue to show up, like I see people quit, I'm like, cool, more room for me to get to the top. More space for me. If I keep going and these people are quitting, that means that I'm sticking it through when it's getting hard. It's a nice like reminder of, okay, it got hard and I'm still going. Cool. So the ones that truly go all in, they're consistent when nobody's watching. They're consistent when it's quiet. They're doing the small things that don't look glamorous, that don't look fun, showing up on stories, following up, learning. What are you learning? Because that's going to be the number one question your team is wondering. What's Kat learning today? What's Kat going to teach us next? And your team's going to wonder the same thing about you. So even when it feels like no one's paying attention, people that go all in, people that win, they're doing it even when no one's paying attention. Because God's always paying attention. God's always following you around. God knows. And when you go all in, God goes all out. We need to put that on a shirt. Number three, all in is contagious. When you go all in, your energy shifts and people feel it. Your habits are contagious. Your commitment gives other people permission to rise up. Your consistency gives other people permission to be consistent because you can't ask your team or your followers or your customers to go all in and to do this with you if you're only halfway in yourself. Leadership isn't what you say, it's what you show. It's always what you show. The way that you post, the way that you talk, the way that you move, it all sends a message of like, this is real, this is serious, and I'm not quitting. Or it shows she's lazy, this is just a fad, she's not going to be doing this in 2 weeks. And you have to prove your haters wrong. I know it's so corny, but the second you stop posting, the second you stop being consistent, you're telling them you were right. So when people sense that energy of you going all in, they want to be a part of it. People follow people that know where they're going. And when you go all in, you show that sense of, I know where I'm going and I'm going to make it whether you come with me or not. And it's going to make them want to follow you. So people want to follow someone who's walking in purpose. And number four, most important and last one, going all in with God. This is the most powerful part. Like I said, when you go all in, God goes all out. So your job is obedience, the showing up, the planting the seeds, the giving your best. We can only do what we can do. We can only do all that we can do, but are you really doing all that you can do? Because sometimes we use the excuse of, I did everything I could. But like you could have done another reach out. You could have made a post. You like, are you really doing all that you can do? Because you do all that you can do, and then you've done all you could do. But some people give themselves an excuse of like, I did all I could when they really could have done more. So make sure you're doing all you could do before you say I've done all I could do. Okay? So we do all we can do, and God does the rest. And sometimes the reason your breakthrough hasn't come yet is because God's waiting to see if you'll commit even when you can't see the results. So going all in, it isn't just about business, it's about faith. And it's saying, God, I trust the vision that you've given me, and I'm going to give it everything that I got. So today, I just want to challenge you guys, like, if you feel like you're just dipping your toe in the water, start diving in. Don't play small with the gifts that God has given you. Don't post halfway or lead halfway or believe halfway because the moment you go all in and your inner energy starts to shift, your faith starts to shift, your results are going to start to shift, and then your future is going to start to shift. The price that you pay for being half in is far greater than the price of going all in. So let's just be women that go all in faith, in leadership, in business, and in the mission of her society, helping each other rise. Because when we do, everything around us is going to start to rise, and one rising tide, sorry, I need glasses during this time. One rising tide is going to lift all ships, right? So I just hope I inspire you guys to go all in with the gifts that the Lord has given you because when you do, the results are going to be like something you never ever would have imagined. Something that like when people look at your life, they're going to be like, God did that. God did that in her life. And all of these people that like you look up to, all of these people that like have the things that you want to see, there wasn't a guaranteed path for them. All the people that you look up to, whether it's like someone in pharmacy or Jeff Bezos or Steve Jobs, like or Kobe Bryant, anyone that has done something worth talking about. All of the people that you look up to, there wasn't a guaranteed path for any of them. All they did was take a risk. They took a risk and they took the risk because instead of asking themselves, what's going to happen if I go out there and fail? They asked themselves the inverse of that. What's going to happen if I never try? What's going to happen if I never go after this? What's going to happen if I don't give it everything I have? What's my life going to look like if I let this opportunity pass me? And that thought is more painful to them than the idea of falling on their face in front of everyone. Because I've been in this game long enough to know I don't care about what anyone thinks about me falling on my face. When I switched companies and came here, I did not care about what anyone had to say because I've already accomplished more than like 99.999% of what most people accomplish in network marketing. So I don't care if I fall on my face in front of people. What I care about is if I have something that I'm actually driven to go do, and if I don't do it, how am I gonna feel when it's this is gonna be a little morbid, but when it's time to die? Like how am I gonna feel when I come to the end of my life knowing I could have done that? That's what makes successful people. That's what makes driven people. And that's what makes achievement happen. People focusing on what's going to happen if I don't run with the vision that God gave me. They don't wonder, like, what if I fail? They wonder, how am I going to feel if I see someone else go out there and do what I could have done? I had that idea. I had that vision, and they ran with it, and I didn't. That's what they're worried about. They don't care if they fail. They're like, of course I'm going to fail a couple times, but then I'm going to win. And then people are going to ask me how I won. So that needs to be your mindset. But I'm going to hand it off to Ray. Ray has been crushing it. She just relaunched her business this month. She already has 1,200 group volume. I like tapped on her team management. It was like new FI, new FI, new FI, new FI, new FI. I was like, girl, can you please share? Because you just decided to go all in. I feel like you have been doing this with me since I joined last year, and something shifted in you, and you rejoined, and you made the decision to go all in. So I just thought about how you would be the perfect person to really share, like, what was your mind shift of, okay, I'm gonna come into pharmacy and really go all in with this and actually do it and say
Yeah.
hello and share your story with everyone.
Hi everyone. Oh my gosh. Sorry, I'm so sweaty. We were just walking the dog and taking my daughter out. But yes, I joined exactly a year ago. I think it was like last year, October. And I was like, I'm just gonna like do it like like under the shadows. Like no one's gonna know. I'll just share some of my close friends because I was so worried about what other people thought, like in my previous company. And I built personal relationships with these people, right? So I'm like, oh, I don't want them to judge me. I don't want them to think that I'm a traitor. And like if you've been in network marketing, there's once you join, it's like, oh, you're doing this for life. We're lifers. And I'm like, oh my God, I said that I was a lifer at my previous company. Like, I'm gonna look like a traitor. And so I kind of was just like, okay, I'm not gonna do this, even though like I've been watching you. Like I've watched you literally. I would stalk your stories, stalk your page, and then I'll show my husband. I'm like, gosh, I should have just stayed. Like, look how much like they look so happy. They're growing. And then around that time, I was like, I was kind of going back to rebuilding my faith back. And so I was like, oh my God, like these are God's girls. Like my previous company, like a lot of these girls are not doing that. Like they're not being like that, like they're not aligning to what I'm trying to like overcome. And then so I think it was September. I was just like last month, I was just like, you know what? Like literally like you said, 1 foot in, 1 foot out. And I was, I've been going back and forth with Shelly. I'm like, girl, I think I'm gonna leave the company that we're at. Like, I just don't feel like I'm giving my best there, which is why I'm not growing. But also, like, I'm on like a different faith journey because I'm trying to focus on my faith. And I feel like I'm letting that business go because it wasn't built on like God's time. Like, I was growing, but like not growing like the seeds that God planted, kind of just like going against his plans for me. And then I was like, let me just pray on it. And every single time I prayed, like, do I leave my company that I'm at now and go with pharmacy? And every time I would come, I even like emailed, like, at my church, we have a prayer request. And I asked I wrote it there, like, should I leave this company I'm working at and go with this other company? And my pastor was like, where do you feel God the most? And I was like, oh my gosh, okay. And so it was kind of like just like right in front of me, like everything that I wanted was because like I wanted for myself, right? But then you kind of have to, like you said, like you really have to grow in faith and you really have to go all in. And even when I did my relaunch, I was still not fully in. And so I was kind of growing until like I think it was like over the weekend I was like, Shelly, oh my gosh, like what do I do? I don't know what to do because I don't like I still care about what these other girls think, but then I'm like, but why? Why do I care about what they think? Because like I'm doing this like they're not my why I joined network marketing. Like I joined because I wanted to grow and I sorry guys, I'm talking a lot, but I wanted to grow like something for my kids, for my family. And yeah, and so I was just like, I literally need to go all in. I need to just not care what other people think and just leave it to God. And at the end of the day, if I water the plants that He planted for me, those plants are going to grow. And so, like you said, like you really do, like find a runner to run with you. And Shelly was literally like there. Like we were going through the same thing we went through in our previous company. And I was just like, you know what? And like signs were coming out left and right. And I was just like, oh my gosh, okay, like it's right in front of my face, go all in. And then so I got a little bit more consistent with my follow-ups and my posting was just like, okay, I'm just gonna post what I'm using, everything I'm using. And I don't like sending voice notes to people, but I started doing more voice notes. And I'm like, hey, sorry if my voice is shaky. I'm still, because like a lot of people are asking, like, did you switch companies? What's going on with you? But they're intrigued to know like what I'm doing. And so I'm sending them voice notes and, and
So
they're like, I hear you're excited.
sorry, what were you posting to have them like start asking you those questions?
So I did started sharing the order point, like I sell, I make, and then I started sharing like the products I'm using. So I was more, um, I only share what I use. I don't share like if I'm not using it, I'm not going to share it. So I share what I use, and then I will share if I gained a new customer or if I gained a new BI. So they're just like, okay, like what is this influencer thing that you're doing? What is this makeup that you're sharing? And I do the aloe glow. Like I do the aloe glow pretty consistently, and so I share that also. And yeah, so I would share that. I try to share like the little wins because little wins, it looks big to someone else, right? Or it looks small to us, but it's big for someone else. And there's people who I know who I've worked with, and they're like, you give me so much courage to want to do what you're doing and move forward with like wanting to transition. So I do have two girls that signed under me, not Shelly, but there's two other girls who were I used to work with them. They're still a little bit shy to come on Zoom and post, but they love the products and I'm like use me as an example, use Shelly as an example. Like your focus is you. Like you're no one else is your why but yourself, you know? And it kind of goes back to like do it for her. Who are you doing it for? Look at the girl in the mirror. So this is kind of what I'm trying to go by because that's pretty much talking to myself. Like I joined because of me, like no one else. I joined because of me. And so yeah. I also do hot lists. I love the hot list. So I when everyone's asking me what to use, I'm like, let me create a list for you. And I literally will put the hot list under their name. I'll put for Nina, for NT, for this and that person. That way they know like I'm literally trying to find like what's best for you. That way I can help you. And I really like the hot list. Like that really goes a long way because you could just send them what like, stuff for their skin or, products that they will like.
And I think it just makes it so simple because you and Shelly have been dropping in sales left and right. So it was just like, wow, this is amazing because you really did. You made a decision to go all in. And when you make the decision, everything else shifts. Your attitude, your energy, how you share, how you post, and people sense it. It is contagious. So as Ray is like sharing her passion and going all in because she was only posting on close friends. Like she added me on close friends and it was all such good content, but it was only on close friends. I'm like, oh my gosh, such a missed opportunity. But like, I think leaving the door open and letting people work at their own pace, it does make a difference because it happens at the right time for the right person. So I was never just like forcing Ray to do anything. I was just like, she'll come around when it's her time to come around. So I think having patience for other people is also such a big difference makers is having that patience. And it was a year ago, but it feels like it was just yesterday. So sometimes like when you're in the like the weeks, the months, it feels like a long time, but in the grand scheme of things, things go by really quickly. So my last question is how did you get your your last three BIs, if you can share?
Yes. So my last three, well, one of the girls, she wanted to utilize the $6 promo. She ended up not doing the $6 promo, which is like, you know what? I'm just gonna buy products I'm gonna use and I'll let you know when I'm ready to promote. But is it okay if I share it with my friends and family and like my link? I'm like, yeah, like if you can work like I'm not gonna force you to do anything, but if you want to share with your friends and family, you can do that. Because I think with her, she's still a little bit scared to share. But I mean, she loves the products already. She got it really fast too. So I think that was like another thing, like it shipped to her really fast. I think she's in Hawaii also. And mind you, I'm not from Hawaii. So
Oh,
it's so funny when you guys are like, "Go Hawaii." I'm like, no, I'm in I'm in the Bay Area. Like I'm in California. But I love it though because like Shelly's there. And I'm like, girl, oh my God.
you're like
Because she
Shelly,
signed someone who
Hawaii.
lives
It's
They
just
literally find someone who lives up to like probably like 20 minutes away from me. I'm like, it works out because one of my girls are in your area, one of your girls is in my area, so it kind of works out. But the other girl who signed up, she bought a kit. I think the kits are really good. I kind of push for the kits because it gets them active. And I do have boundaries also. I'm kind of like, I can't work with you unless I know that you're committed. And so if I kind of fill them out first. So I just see like, how do you want to do this? Are you looking to just get 50% off your products? Or are you looking to do the business? And if they're like do the business, I'm like, okay, let's just aim to get you qualified and active. So I kind of just like fill it out and like kind of like screen and see like how to work with this person.
and I think
I'm
it's
just trying to get them to the
yeah,
task. Things
right.
are overwhelming for them, but
Cats like
yeah.
over. They're gonna want to start selling. They're gonna get the trainings. They're gonna get the Zooms. And when I'm sharing the kits, I let them know, like, look, let's get you qualified. You're gonna get a free product in the welcome program. You're gonna be able to like start earning all of the welcome program gifts, and like you show them all of the benefits that they get. I'll send them a photo of school. You're gonna get this classroom. It's gonna be good for anything that you do, not just pharmacy. So I tell them, and you're gonna get one-on-one mentorship with me. Um,
Yeah,
so that makes a huge difference.
it does. So, there is like one who she bought the sample kit. I think it's like the $20 one, and she's kind of like still on the fence, but we're trying to get her active. She's like, okay, like just I'm gonna try to meet with her that way she could see what I have. But yeah, if you're local to any like your potentials and you actually know them personally, like I for me, like I feel like I'm gonna try to connect with them in person if I know that like they have so much great potential, you know. So
Right. And
I'm
then
gonna try to step
even inviting, like, even if they joined with like a $20 kit, continuing to invite them to the info calls is huge.
yeah.
They hear the stories, inviting them to Bible study for them to feel our community. Like those things are huge for them, and it makes them want like more of what they have. So thank you so much, Ray. Do you have any last words for everyone? This was so good.
Thank you. Honestly, just literally go all in. It makes a difference. I see the difference. I literally see like everything, even in my personal life, changing, and I love it. Don't
Hmm.
hold yourself back.
Do it for her. Everyone drop a 10 in the chat if you're inspired by Ray and her story. I'm so inspired by you, Ray. Thank you so much for making that decision to go all in because it's contagious for me too. Like I gotta keep up with these girls that are coming in hot. But next I have Miss V. I don't think she needs an introduction. She is just she does everything. I don't know how you keep up, friend, but I'm so grateful for you. V shared a 30-30-30 method, I think it's called, and Ella shared it in my new girl chat, and Ella has been seeing results with it. I actually messaged Ella. I said, Ella, can you share your 30-30-30 method? She's like, that's V's method. So
Aw.
message V. So V has just been like such a great leader. She is the definition of someone that she's always showing up. You never know what's going on in her business, but you know she's showing up for it. So thank you, V, for all that you do. I would love for you to share this method with everyone and me as well, because I'm taking notes. I want to know all about this method to this method.
Yeah, no, it's really simple, but I just want to start off by saying it like where it really comes from is that there's so many aspects of this business we can't control. First of all, can you hear me? I'm using my AirPods for the first time for a call. But yeah, no, so it really comes from a place of like there's so many aspects of this business we can't control, right? Like we can't control who buys from us when we post a video. We can't control who like comments on our thing, messages us, ready to sign up, ready to buy. So there's so many aspects of it where we're constantly putting in effort and we just can't control the results back. And for me, as somebody who didn't really have a strong hot market when I first got started in my last company, and I didn't have a warm market really either, it was really cold market always. And like I always took that as something to take in as a challenge rather than, get discouraged by it because a lot of people start the same way. And a lot of my girls, same thing. Like they'll come in super excited, super enthusiastic, and then they'll be so ready to reach out to their hot market, warm market. And sometimes it works out with a couple of sales. Sometimes it doesn't work out at all. And sometimes I guess a little discouraging because then they're like, okay, now I have no one to buy for my social media, no one to buy for my hot market. And like that is where I really, really enforce reach outs because for me, I think I find comfort in reach outs for business. I feel like that is the one part of this business you can control and you can get better at. And you can like literally control how like even the turnout of it if you go in with like the right mindset, the right idea. So for me, whenever I feel like there's something missing in my business, I need to do more of, it is always like it's always reach out. Like I always know if I need like if my team isn't, doing anything, I feel like no one's still here and active, my mindset immediately goes to, okay, we need to find like more people. We need to build a new team. And like for me, how do I do that? Because I don't have credibility to the point where people like, come across my video and I have so many people messaging me info and like ready to get started. It happens every now and again, and that's so rewarding, but it's not as often as you would want to build a fast business. So I came up with a mass reach out method. And if at first it started very low, like 30, 30, 30 used to be 10, 10, 10. And, like I built my way up because you'll be surprised how much you can actually send out in just a short amount of time. Like I think even though that sounds crazy because it adds up to be like almost 90 reach outs a day, but it really only takes me maybe 20 minutes most. And I divide it up between morning, afternoon, and night. And I'm going to go into like how to organize that. But the number doesn't matter. It just matters that you're doing it consistently and you're doing it with like a message and like an intention at heart, not just, spam messaging and random people. You don't want to do that. You still want to have some sort of like intention behind it. Since you are going to be doing it in bulk, you want to make sure you stay organized and intentional with it because otherwise it's not going to be beneficial for you. But for me, so I picked 3 platforms, right? I'm using Threads. I'm very new to Threads, by the way, you guys. That is a whole nother hot market of like cold market, like if that makes sense. Like we have so many people on there ready looking for opportunities. I started on it when I was promoting my event with Ella from Miami, just like, Miami girls, like reach out, like we're doing an event sort of thing. And since then, like I've just been so on it because I didn't realize how many people were constantly just ready to, find new ways to make money, find new brand deals, find new partnerships, and just stuff like that. So I started off by promoting my event. And every time someone would reach out, they'd be like, I want to join your event. How do I attend? I would let them RSVP because it was free for potentials. And then from there, once they RSVP'd, I'd be like, okay, well, since you're coming, have you ever heard about the beauty influencer program Pharmacy offers? And then, go into conversations from there. But since then, Threads has been a huge thing. Even if you're just like doing a small post of looking for beauty influencers, plugging your opportunity, however you do it, you're gonna get so many interactions. And I reach out to everyone that interacts with me. As long as they're not in pharmacy already, like I'll message them and I'll be like, hey girl, I saw you interacted with my post. Were you looking for more information on this opportunity? I love the videos you're posting already. I would actually love to share more info with you. And just like finding ways to get into their DMs from there because they've interacted with my post. So that's one method where I find these people. Another one is literally just following people who come up on your For You page, Explore page, anyone you see in your comments and your likes, anyone you follow and they follow you back. I sent a bunch of pitch examples in the group chat yesterday. I'll send them again here. But it changes every time. The pitch doesn't matter. What matters is having a set method of doing X amount of reach outs every day per platform. So when you break it out into 30, 30, 30, it's not much. If you were to say, okay, I'm going to do 90 reach outs today, that sounds like a lot. I don't even know how to count and keep track of that. But when I say I'm going to do 30 in the morning and I pick just one platform, I'm just on TikTok scrolling, getting my connections in. In midday, I'm going on Threads, getting my connections in Instagram. So it feels like you're only doing 20 to 30, and it's not much at all. Um, Let me paste the reach outs in here. Well, I think it's on my iPad. But let me know if you have any questions on that. Like, do you want me to elaborate on any part of that first before? Um, but I want everyone to comment in the chat what your number is going to be. It doesn't have to be 30, but if you want to pick a number, like just literally stick with it and do it per platform that you're already on. Because not only are you going to utilize every single platform, you're going to utilize so many different markets. You're going to utilize just so much exposure. Also, plus point, if someone ghosts you or doesn't answer your message or open your message on one platform, you can message them on another one. Just have a different approach and just be authentic about it. But like, there's so many perks that come out of it. And some people, I think Adriana said this on one call, but some people don't respond sometimes because they have a high following on one platform and they have settings set up where they don't see messages. But let's say they have 100K on TikTok, they might only have like, reasonable followers to the point where on Instagram where they can see your message and actually respond and see what you're saying. So never count yourself short. There's so many people, vice versa. They have a huge following on Instagram and on TikTok they have nothing, and now you can actually approach them. So that's been a huge thing. And I tell my girls to do that all the time because, again, you can't control who buys from you, but you can control who you talk to. And then anytime there's room where you feel like your business isn't moving, there's nothing happening, reach outs have been the answer for me. Sometimes they work where it's like back to back, you're recruiting. Sometimes there's weeks where it's slow, but I trust it enough to know that it's going to work eventually. Because if they don't sign up right away, the seed's planted. So eventually I can follow up with them if I do an event, because now I'm in my event era, doing events everywhere. I'll invite them to an event, and like just having those people in your social media, just watching what you're doing has been so helpful. And then with my girls, I tell them the same exact thing. They pick their numbers, they go crazy reaching out everywhere, filling up potential calls. And another big thing that's been helpful is voice notes. I know Ray touched on this, but really like sending long paragraphs is really, it just doesn't work for me anymore. I know I used to do it, but honestly, just using that same time to just do a quick voice note changes everything. It looks more intentional, it looks more personal, and people are more likely to understand what you're saying and like actually read it in the enthusiasm you have and the excitement you have. So I tell my girls to do that all the time, and they fill up my potential calls calendar, like three-way calls, and then we take it from there. But my girl, I don't know, even know if she's on here right now, Sarah, she took it to the exact level. This girl asked me, she was like, "What are you doing? What's working? I need this to like, do its thing." And I told her exactly what I do, 30, 30, 30. And she said, okay. And then like, I didn't even realize she was doing that many. But this one random day, she just told me she did 700 reach outs this week. And I was like, wow. And like, we're literally swimming through a whole pool of potentials together. Like, she doesn't even know how to organize them. But I'm just like, just get the calls. And if they're serious about it, let's just go. And, you never know. And she's found random sales through them. She's found random people looking to join her in like complete cold market. She doesn't even have that much pharmacy content up yet. So it really just goes to show you the way you present it, the way you talk about it, it matters more than your page.
Yeah, and this is how I just like I built my funnel in the first place was doing exactly what V is sharing here. And what I realized, like sometimes it like I'll be sending out so many reach outs and someone I didn't even expect or reach out to comes and signs up with me. But I think it's just like science. You're putting yourself on this frequency and on this vibration of being open to receive what you are putting out. So if you're putting yourself in the I'm trying to figure out how to say this right. If you're putting yourself in the position to be open to receiving new beauty influencers and you're just your mindset and everything like that you're thinking about is in this space, it's gonna come back to you. Like you put yourself on that wavelength. I'm trying to make it not sound so um new agey because I promise you guys I love Jesus, but it's just like it's science. You're like putting yourself in this space. And I realize like when I'm focusing on follow-ups and reach outs and content, someone is coming back my way because I'm putting myself in that wavelength and in that opportunity. So like even if those 30 people that you reached out to don't come back to you, it's gonna come from a different space because you're putting out these reach outs. So now your mind is like, okay, now I'm going to create content so those 30 people see something that I'm talking about and see what I mean. And you're going to start creating content because you know you planted seeds for all those people, and someone else in your funnel is going to reach back out to you. And I've even like, I write down these names of everyone that I reach out to. I have a saved folder. Every time I do a reach out, I go to their profile, I pick one of their photos, I save it, and I put it in like a 2024 potentials folder, 2025 potentials folder. And I go back and the things that you're going to achieve over the months, over the years, you're going to be like, hey, I reached out to you 8 months ago. I don't know if you've seen, but I've been able to go to Turkey. I've earned the car bonus. I went to Mexico. Like, and they're going to go back and they're going to be like, wow, this girl reached out to me about this opportunity. She achieved all these things since she's reached out to me. Maybe I should give this a chance and give this a look. So, like, these reach outs do play a really big part in your business, even if they don't join right then and there. They're all seeds that you have planted to build an audience for yourself, and the attention of your audience is currency. The Pilar's asking, can you share what you say in your voice note?
Yeah, so I'm gonna I'll have to send in the chat after, but it was literally this thing that Issa said on her recruitment call. She had like this whole rundown of like the things she says during it. Let me find it in my notes. But I'm basically just telling them like what I do, like how we share products, the commission, literally anything you would type to them if they asked you, can you tell me more about this? Say it instead. And just saying it, not only does it take away that long, lengthy paragraph looking thing, because sometimes people open a message, they see a long paragraph and they don't even read it. They just get intimidated. They just assume it's like a scam or a spammy page, like they don't even give it a second to actually read. But with the voice note, it's different. And they're like, wait, this person's actually reaching out to me. Maybe they're actually serious. And also on that same call, Issa talked about inviting people because sometimes people might really want to join you. They might really like what you're doing. They just might be shy and scared because they feel like if they reached out to you, they'll get rejected because they don't think it's something they could do. Because if it was for them, you would have already asked them. So that like whole thing when she shared that really changed everything for me because I was like, you know what, you're right. Like some people are shy. Some people want to know they're actually able to do something before they reach out to you. So you doing that part and inviting them, you're opening the door and following up with people is so much easier. There's so many more opportunities to reach back out to them than the initial reach out. The initial reach out is usually the harder one because it's like, how do you start this conversation? But there's so many opportunities to follow up, right? You can follow up with opportunity calls, info calls, Bible studies, events in person, HQ if they're in Miami. Like there's so many ways you can re-engage with them, but the initial one is the hardest anyway. So the more people you engage with the first time, the more people you'll have to follow up with. So whenever there's an opportunity call, you can go back to these people and be like, hey, I know you asked me for more info. I would love for you to join this call. I always say my business besties are hosting it, and I would love for you to hear from someone who's been doing it for 7 years and learn from their experiences and just like leave the door open. But the more you send them out, you like, I feel like now since I talk to so many people, I don't even focus on the people who are not responding. I don't even focus on the people who aren't answering or ghosting or whatever, because I'm just so focused on the next person. And it's also helped me because I used to be the kind of person that would do a bunch of reach outs and then I have like 5 leads and I'll get so excited that I'll just focus on them, thinking, oh my gosh, I have 5 people. They sound like genuinely serious to sign up. And then that wouldn't happen. And I just wasted so much time where I could have reached out to more. So I could just moved on to them. So like having those gaps filled by just constantly reaching out. So if one person stops responding to you, your business doesn't just stop. You already have other people to respond back to. And the more people you like I said, the more people you talk to throughout the day, you generally won't even like notice who isn't responding. Or there's times people message me back from a story and they're like, oh my gosh, I'm ready to get started. I don't remember where I found them. I don't remember how I reached out to them. I have to literally go back and see our conversation to like kind of refresh so it looks more authentic. But yeah, no, so I'm gonna find that and put it in the chat. But she basically just went through everything in that voice note, and then from there she talks about like the 125 kit. So I literally read it, like I'll have it on my iPad and I'll be reading on a voice note, but like just sending it that way, and it takes like 40 seconds like voice note time, if that makes sense.
Yes, yes.
So let me find it.
Thank you so much, V. So
You're
good.
welcome.
This has been so great. So, like, we covered the mindset part of going all in, and now we've given you some tangible action steps on what you can do while after making the decision to go all in so that you can build your team and all of those reach outs that you do in the the 30-30 method and whatever number you decide to pick that works for you. Like, I know when I first started, like training this method, I would teach my new girls 4 4 4, because like creating a hundreds list it can feel overwhelming, and I would teach my girls, make 4 new connections, reach out to 4 people about the business, and then follow up with 4 people every single day. So every day you're talking to 12 different people, and then at the end of your week, I'm bad at math, but let's do 12 times 7. That's 84 conversations a week. And as you get consistent with it, it becomes second nature and you can up the numbers from there. So if you don't know where to start, start with reaching out, start with planting seeds and creating opportunities for yourself so that you have new eyes on your content, new eyes on your stories, new eyes that are like, who's this Mandy girl? Who's this Alma girl? Who's this Erica girl? Who's this Nisi girl? What is she sharing? What is she talking about? And the more that you do those reach outs, the more eyes are on you. And then your content is going to have like more purpose than just posting to the same pharmacy people, right? Because we make a lot of connections here in the pharmacy space, but we're all already doing pharmacy. So when you do reach outs, that brings new people to your page. And I think it's important that I add, like, go beyond the no. A lot of people don't get to the close because someone tells them no and they stop creating a relationship. They stop building rapport. They like think, okay, they said no, they're never gonna join me. If you go beyond the no and intentionally build a relationship and continue to educate and demonstrate until people understand, you'll realize that those no's are just not right nows, and they'll come back around as they see you start to grow yourself, because going all in is contagious and people want to follow people that know where they're going. So once they start to like, know, and trust you, they're going to start to take part of what you have to offer, because who wouldn't want to do this? Like, it's all our job is to educate and demonstrate until people understand. Educate people that they can earn 50% commission. Educate people that they can like earn family trips by doing this. Educate people that they can become a better version of themselves. Educate people that you can find joy in this community. Educate people on the financial freedom that you can gain from this opportunity. If someone really believes that they can come in here and earn an extra even $500 a month to 5,000 to 50,000. Like, why wouldn't they say yes? The only reason why they're not saying yes right now is because they don't like you yet, they don't know you yet, they don't trust you yet. They haven't been demonstrated or educated enough. Once they see it and they like you, they know you, they trust you, and you educate and demonstrate all those things, and they start to believe that that is possible for them, they're gonna say yes. Why wouldn't they? Who doesn't want to make 50% commission on a product they're already using? Literally 95% of women are using foundation. 100% of women, I hope, are washing their hair, brushing their teeth, washing their face, right? So like if they can like, know, and trust you, and you're educating and demonstrating the products and the opportunity enough with consistency, they're gonna come around. And what the method V just shared, those are the seeds that you plant while you're going all in, while you're making the decision to go all in. So thank you, V. Thank you, Rick.
Awesome.
So cute you two are matching. Why didn't you guys tell
I
me?
know. I texted her as the call was happening. I was like, we're twinning.
You guys didn't want me to match with you. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But thank you all so very much. I'm so grateful to do this with all of you. It is such a blessing to work alongside you. I will see you tomorrow on Bible study and power session at 1 p.m. I'll share the schedule before the night is over. It's a busy day. I should put that on my power list. But I love you girls, and I will see you in the group chats. Go in WhatsApp, type do it for her if you're doing it for her, and I'm going all in if you're going all in. Love you guys. Bye.